Hello Year 5s, it's me. It is Monday and we are at the start of our very final half term together as Year 5s. I will put a video up saying hello to everybody later today, I think. So let's get cracking with our learning. So straight on to our maths. You'll notice it says volume and we'll have a quick look at that in a moment. So do now first. Let's see if our brains are still in gear from half term and sunny weather. So, difference between a number and an integer. Well, a number is a complete number, isn't it? So, you could have 136. You could have 12. An integer, though, is digit is within the number. So, there is a 3 in 136. So, you can have the number 7 is a number. It is also a digit within other numbers. Okay, so a number, the entire thing, integer or digit, is the individual digit within the number. How many place values do we have in day-to-day money? Well, that's 2, because you can have £5.23. There are 2 decimal places. We don't have a third one. We do have, when you look at more in-depth money, banks and stock exchange and things like that. But for everyday money, it's just to 2 decimal places. How do you find the product? Well, product is just multiplication. So the product of 7 and 3 will be 21. Roman numerals. Convert this to Roman numerals. 54. Remember, you just look at each digit and think what each individual one is. So 50 is L, and 4 is 1 before 5. So 1 before 5. There you go. XXII, well, that's 10, 20, 1, 2, so 22. And 244, well, 200 is CC, so 200. 40, just like we've had 1 before 5, is going to be 10 before 50. XL, and then we've already had the 4, which is IV. So 244. Lovely. Hopefully they're in our memories now, that the L and the C, once they're in, you can make most Roman numerals. Fractions. 2 and 3 fifths. How many fifths altogether is that? So, you've got 2 whole things. So that's going to be 2 times 5. So 2 lots of 5s is 10. And then your 3 extras, 13. So 13 fifths. This one into a mixed fraction, so the other way. So how many 4s go into 15? So 1 whole is going to be 4 fourths. Another whole is going to be 8 fourths altogether. So how many 4s go into 15? 4, 8, 12, 16. Too many. So 3. So 3 whole things. 4, 8, 12. How many is 15? 13, 14, 15. So we've got 3 extras, and we're working in quarters. 8 tenths add 4 tenths. We've done these loads at school. The denominator is the same, so let's keep that the same. 8 add 4 is 12. That is your improper fraction, but on the do now I've asked can you do both. So there's your improper one. A mixed fraction, well 10 tenths is 1. And we've got 2 extras, haven't we, because we've got to go to 12. So it's 1 and 2 tenths. Lovely jubbly. Right, on to what we're doing this week. And it's something we've not looked at school. It was the thing coming up after air and perimeter. But I have to say, we've got it's that beautiful time of the school year where you should have all the skills and all the knowledge to be able to apply to different things. So volume is how much space is in a container, or how much it can take up, but it's in three dimensions. Capacity, which you solve in the same way, or can be solved in the same way, is how much something is in it. So that's more your millilitres and litres, and how much is in this, well, 350 millilitres. Whereas volume is the actual space it takes up. So, this one here, very, very simple start, and there's cubes on here to help you see it. So we know the area, we know that perimeter is all the way around the rim. area is how much space is taken up. You know, if you put it down on a floor or on a table, how much space is taken up. So this one, if it was area, it says there's a centimetres, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be 6 centimetres squared, wouldn't it? Okay, because you've got 2 times 3. But when you add another dimension to it, so we've got our wait, it goes a bit different here. You've got our height, our length, and our width. We've got 3 dimensions now. Once you stretch it out, you've got extra space. All you do is you multiply the 3 numbers together. So perimeter, you add them all up. Area of rectangles and squares, you multiply length times width. Volume, you multiply all 3. Okay? So this first one here, what is the volume of this tower? It's 5 by 3 by 2. So it's 5 by 3 by 2. Quite simply, you just do 2 numbers at a time. It does not matter which order you do them in because it's multiplication. It's like you can do 7 times 4 and you can do 4 times 7. Answer the same. Always pick the number, have a look and logically think which numbers are easy to start with. This one, it's not too bad. You can do 5 times 3, which is 15, times it by 2, or double it, which is 30. You could have done 5 times 2, which is 10, times by 3, which is 30. You could have done 3 times 2, which is 6, times by 5, which is 30. Okay? So the answer, I've said it a couple of times, is 30. But it's centimetres cubed, because we are in 3 dimensions now. So when it was area, it was squared, because we had, you know, the square spaces, we cut them into squares, and it was by 2 dimensions, it was length times width. Volume, it's centimetres cubed. Okay? So, once you've done that, so that first one, we've already said, I'm not going to write that one down. We need to have a look at these. I've kept them relatively simple for today. You know, they can get a lot trickier than this, but to be fair, as long as you've got the skill of multiplying, you can do volume pretty quickly. So it's a new concept, but I'll be honest, guys, there's absolutely no new skill in this. It's just understanding what volume is. So we've got these ones here. For some of them, you're not going to need to do any written calculations. You should be able. Well, we're at the end of year 5. We should all be nailing our times tables. We should be able to look at these and just do some of these in our heads. Let's be honest. So, you know, 7 times 6, well, 7 times 6 is 42, times 2. Just double it. We've got 4. That's an even number, so that's easy to do, isn't it? I'm talking a lot. So, let's get a few of these down, because you've probably fast forwarded to the answers. So, they've done Roman numeral numbers. Okay, so you've got your 7 times 6, which equals 42, and then your 42 times 2. Times 2 is just doubling, because this is even, you can double both of them. So 4 becomes 8 and 2 becomes 4. So your answer is 84 centimetres cubed. You've got to have the centimetres cubed. The next one. Number 2. Doesn't matter which way around we do it. Let's do 4 times 3, which is 12. And then 12 times 2, 24 centimetres cubed. You should be laughing at these. Number 3. Let's go 10 times 6, which is 60. And then 60 times 4. Now, some of you might want to do something here. You might want to put it into a column, but you don't need to. Take the 4 off. Take the 0 off. You've got 6 times 4, which is 24. Bung the 0 back on. Boom. You've got yourself 240 centimetres squared. Next one. IV, number 4. 12 times 5, 60. 60 times 2. Again, that's doubled. Double 6 is 12. Put the 0 back on. 120 centimetres cubed. Number 5. These are the two I want to have a quick look at. So 15 times 6. Don't know my 15s. I can do a quick little, just to make sure I get the answer. 5 times 6, that's 30. 1 times 6 is 6. Add 3. 90. So we've got our 90. Now we've got 90 times 8.5 on this one. Look, these last two have got decimals. I'm hoping you can remember what you do here. So, remember our little trick? First of all, we're timesing by 2 digits, so we've got our 0 the hero. The other little cheeky trick is that it does not matter it's a decimal. Pretend it's not there and concentrate on that at the answer at the end. We're going to times everything by this number first. So 0 times 5 is 0. That's fine. 9 times 5 is 45. And because we're done with that, we're just going to write the answer. Still needs to be in our columns. But we're done with that now. 0 the hero. Now we're focusing on this. 0 times 8, that's nothing. 9 times 8, 72. Add them together. 0, 5, 6, and 7. Now you'll notice there is no decimal place there. If you can remember, you put the decimal place simply wherever there are... Sorry, I'll say that again. However many numbers are after the decimal in your question. So in this whole question, we've only got 1 digit after a decimal. If there was a decimal in that one as well, then it'd be 2. So it just goes there. So our answer is 765 centimetres cubed. You'll notice that's quite a big answer compared to the others. But remember, we were on 90 straight away. And then we had to times it by, well, if you were rounding this, timesing it by 9. So 9 times 9 is 81 with a 0 on the end is 810. We're actually not far off. So, the last one we do, now you notice this one here has got all 3 decimals. You'll notice in none of these questions have I times all 3 numbers in one go. Don't do that. Break it down. So, the first one we've got, there's not really a way to do this. I mean, it doesn't really matter which one you do. You could do 7.5 and 7.5. It doesn't. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking it doesn't really matter. But doing 7.5 twice might be a little easier. So let's do that first. Everything's in line still, but remember you don't need the decimal. So this is for number 6. So 5 times 5 is 25. 7 times 5 is 35. 35. Add 2 is 37. Right, we're done with that 5. We're going to put a 0 here now. We're going to work with a 7. 7 times 5, 35. 7 times 7 is 49. Add 3, 49, 50, 51, 52. Add these up. 5, 7, 5 is 12. Ooh, is that on the camera? Just. 3 and 2 is, add 1 is 6, and then 5. Now, here's the main bit. You've got your decimals. You don't just put it in line. For add, subtract, yes you do. For multiplication, I've got 1 digit after the decimal. I've got 2 digits after the decimals. So you have 56.25. Okay. Next bit is we're now going to do that times 4.5. So we've got, again, forget the decimals are there. So we're just going to put 425 times that, okay? Remembering that there is 1 there and there is 1 there, okay? I know what you're thinking. What? But it doesn't matter. So, again, we're just going to do 0 the hero. So 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 5 is 10. Add 2 is 12. 6 and 5, 30. Add 1 is 31. 5 times 5 is 25. 26, 27, 28. Lovely. Done with that. 0 the hero. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8. Add 2 more is 10. 6 times 4 is 24. Add another one is 25. 5 times 4 is 20. Add 2 is 22. Add them all up. 5, 2, 1. 8 and 5 is 13. 5 and 2. So, now remember, our decimals were here. We've got 1, 2, 3. There you go. So the last one, number 6, is, and I'll write it on here, 253.12. You can put the 5 as well. Centimetres cubed. Okay. To be fair, most people will just want 253.12 centimetres cubed, but it's there. Okay. So, like I said, there's no new skill. There's a little reminder of what to do with decimals and multiplying decimals, but we did look at that before lockdown. It is simply another thing that we use our long multiplication for. Don't worry if you've got lost a bit in that one, but I would suggest practicing it. And I will say this now: if you're looking at this thinking, "Oh man, I'm getting things wrong in here," make yourself some multiplications. Have a look at these numbers and think, right, okay, I'm going to give myself some. Grab an adult, say, right, guy, can you just give me some that are like this? Just multiplying 2 or 3 numbers together, maybe ones with a couple of decimals, and you need to get in a habit, okay? The last bit, the last challenge, is this, and I'm just going to talk you through it because I'm aware on the length of the video. So, here are 2 shapes that have the same volume. Can you calculate the height of B? Because you're missing the H here, look. So draw another shape that have the same volume. Well, first thing, what's the volume of the shapes? You've got all the information here. So you've got 10 by 2 by 4. So 10 times 4 is 40. Double it is 80. So the volume's the same. This needs to make 80. We've got 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. So whatever you times 16 by to get to 80 is what H is. Simple as that. Okay. I hope you found that okay. Let's be honest. Everybody in our class, everybody, will have been expectations. You've done the first 4. These 2, you just need a bit of a reminder. That last one, I understand we've got decimals in all of those. But if you've had a look at the video, that's hopefully clicked. Practice a few, guys. It's not hard to make a couple of decimal numbers. Just keep them like that. Have a go. Practice, 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 practice. Because unfortunately, for long multiplication, it is just practice. Okay, and it's a system that you get in the habit of. That's how I can do it. My year 6 teacher absolutely drilled it into me. So, hope you're alright with that, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more volume.